Hi, I'm Kim McNeil, and I'm the head women's basketball coach here at East Carolina University. Spreading diabetes awareness is really important to me. It's a way that I look at just saying thank you to my dad, kind of honoring him. My dad was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 24 years old. My father lost his life to complications from diabetes when he was 55. He left me at an early age. I was only 24 years old, so he missed out on a lot of things. He has never seen me coach. He's didn't get to walk me down the aisle. He's never met my twins, but ever since I became a head coach, it's been something that is extremely important to me. So this spring, I was asked to speak uptown at a diabetes awareness walk. And I guess it was about 2 weeks later, I was at Sarah Law, where my daughter plays softball. And this little girl walked up to me and she tapped me on my leg and thanked me for being the speaker at the diabetes awareness walk. And her family walked over, and that's when she went on to tell me that she was a type 1 diabetic.
November of 2019, a couple days before Thanksgiving, Anna Grace had some ongoing, health issues that we just couldn't quite put our finger on. So Mallory said, well, let's just go to the doctor and get some tests run. And, we were advocating and trying to say there's just something not right. And we dropped our younger daughter off at daycare and went to the doctor's office, and we just kept throwing in signs and symptoms that we had been seeing, and then a bell went off for us and the doctors in the room that morning to obviously look into and check her blood sugar. At that point, November 27th, we took her blood sugar, and it was undetectable. It was so high by the glucometer at the doctor's office. So immediately, the physician there sent us to the emergency department at ECU Health at Vita. And we stayed in the hospital for 4 days and through Thanksgiving that weekend until we come home and had all the care we needed and established relationships with physicians and our diabetologist, so that we knew that was the news that we were unfortunately did not want to hear, but it was a lifelong commitment to Anna Grace and this chronic disease that she was going to have to live with that we took in that day.
With type 1 diabetes, there's no 2 days that are the same. So we can have like a perfect blood sugar day one day, do the same exact thing the next day, and it be completely out of whack. She wears a continuous glucose monitor all the time. And so we get updated blood sugar reading every 5 minutes. So even when she's not with us, we can monitor what her blood sugar is doing. So that's really helpful when she's not in our hands at school and that sort of thing. So we signed Anna Grace up for basketball camp this summer, and Dewey actually met her in the parking lot one day and said, hey, I think we're gonna have our daughter come to camp. And, I was just expressing some concern over her diabetes and camp and how that was gonna work. And she was like, no, we want her there.
And that's when I think we really built a bond, because I just watched her just continue to go on with her daily business as if nothing was wrong and as if diabetes didn't even exist in her. And every now and then you would see our trainer and pull her over to the side and say something to her, and she would go, ugh. And she would go over and take her insulin pen and give herself her own units of insulin. And it just took me back to my childhood of, watching my dad every morning sticking himself with insulin or checking his sugar pressure and all the different things. And I just watched her, and I just watched how strong she was, how determined, and how, she just didn't let it bother her. And it just did something for me. And that's really where the relationship really, really began to bond.
And from there, she was kind enough to ask Anna Grace to be an honorary player. Our family has just been blown away by the support from the entire staff, but Coach Kim in particular has meant the world to us.
As she's not gonna feel sorry for herself. And I don't think she wants anybody else to feel sorry for her. And I just think that, that's the reason why I want her around my team. Because life's gonna throw you some curveballs. Life's gonna throw you some adversity, which is a conversation that we have all the time. But the learning factor to that is, how do you deal with that adversity? Are you gonna let it hold you down? Or are you gonna find a way to deal with it? And I really think AG has found a way to deal with it, to live with it, to obviously not allow it to create obstacles in her life, and just to continue to go on and just live one day at a time. She's so resilient. I mean, she just constantly has a smile on her face. You know, she participates in softball, she participates in basketball, and I think she's just determined that she's not gonna let this disease change who she is. She's not gonna allow it to be an obstacle in her life. She's gonna go on and continue to be her, to be this fun, loving little girl that, as I do, wants to spread awareness, you know, to help, you know, hopefully one day find a cure for type 1 diabetes.